So, welcome everyone. Well, Mike is also here in the chat, and he is the founder and CEO of Inclusive Business Sweden. I'm the coordinator for development initiatives, and I would like to introduce to you today the Inclusive Business Co-Creation Accelerator. It's a 3-year program that we will be running from 2015 to 2017. And the goal of this program is to facilitate co-creation between Swedish organizations and actors around the world for reducing poverty. As you all are working in the same inclusive business space, I think I don't need to explain what is inclusive business and so on, but please feel free to ask. This is going to be just a few minutes introduction, but then we can start chatting and discussing the topics. What I'd like to say to you is that last year we were working very closely with Swedish organizations through a project funded by the Swedish Innovation Agency. And what we did was to develop this inclusive business agenda. And what we did was mapping Swedish capabilities, and then we were mapping needs in developing countries, and we tried to match how can put those things together in the same table, and how can we work together in order to achieve challenge and global challenge goals. So that's the scope of the work that we do to promote inclusive business initiatives. And the vision that we have is that by 2020, Swedish business is playing a leading role within the inclusive business space. And we are working towards global challenge of poverty. And we want to do that facilitating agriculture, productivity, enabling access to clean energy, enabling access to water, sanitation, healthcare, also to communication, ICT services, and improving environmental sustainability. And all of this is done profitably by Swedish organizations and actors in developing countries. What we are here is because, as Bert-Ola said, 2 weeks ago, we had a big event in Sweden where we were consulting Swedish actors what is needed. If they want to do inclusive business and if they want to promote these kind of models and initiatives in developing countries, what do they need to implement their projects and businesses and ideas? And what they said is that co-creation and collaboration with actors like you in other countries is one of the most important things. And today we want to ask you about that. If you want to collaborate and find partners in Sweden, what are you looking for? Which kind of partners would you like to have from Sweden in order to scale up or to increase your business?
Hello everyone, also new friends that just joined. My name is Benjamin and I live in Arusha in Tanzania, which is just south of Africa, a few degrees south of the equator. I've been here since 5 years, and what brought me here was the exploitation situation of the porters on Kilimanjaro, which are not only overloaded with high weights, but also exploited with very low salaries. So the answer to that became what is now known as a social enterprise. But back then I was just thinking, how can we increase their salary levels without having to increase the prices for the climbers too much, so that they cannot afford to do a responsible travel experience. So fair travel is based basically on 2 main paradigms, and one is to benefit the social, from a social aspect, to benefit staff, so that nobody in our operation should be dependent on tips, which is an insecure income.
My name is Kevin Wilson, and I run a small research and consulting company for social entrepreneurs. It's called the Center for the Global Study of Social Enterprise, and as its name implies, we do research and hands-on consultation to help social entrepreneurs from all corners of the world to launch their businesses, to expand their businesses, and essentially make their ventures more profitable, both fiscally as well as socially for the societies around them. I'll keep this brief, and I will put a link to our Facebook page in the chat box, so anyone who wants to learn more is welcome to contact us.
Yes, my name is Mike Debelak. I'm the CEO of Inclusive Business Sweden. I'm going to leave most of it to Anna, who's in the room in Gothenburg today. But I'd just like to start by welcoming everyone to this crowd chat, and hope we can use this as a bit of a platform for global collaboration.
Hi, I'm one of the founders of Trine, and we are actually, it was very interesting to hear you talk before that you actually are in need of finance, because that's exactly what we want to solve, but more in a very niche segment. It's in solar energy, so we want to bring money from Western countries, from countries like Sweden, to companies, to solar entrepreneurs in countries like Kenya. We do this over crowdfunding, so we are building a crowdfunding platform where people can invest small amounts of money into projects that electrify small villages. And at the current stage, we're going to have a pilot project up with a Kenyan company. So for us, it's very much how can we reach the small solar entrepreneurs? We reach the big companies, I mean big in terms of developing country size. Companies that have been in the field for several years, that have a track record, that already get probably some small financing streams from countries like Sweden, but we don't have a channel to reach the small, really in the early stage of their development solar entrepreneurs. Maybe somebody has an input on a question like this.
Hi, Bertola, and hi, everybody, group, and so forth. Yeah, my name's Lane Hartzell. I'm here in Bangkok tonight, doing some work related to society and technology, which of course that's a huge area. One area I'm looking at is the peer-to-peer production, where you can develop federated micro-manufacturing to go around the particular supply chains that we have, which can get, say, open knowledge and open design for use anywhere on the world. And then, of course, with Living Bridges Planet, some of those work that we've been doing, and of course Bertola already knows this, but is to link up to share knowledge. And so far it's knowledge and software, but we think maybe in the future that we can go to actual production, such as 3D printers, or what we call digital fabrication, CNCs, which is a kind of cutter that forms 3D structures but takes away rather than depositing on. So all of that kind of falls into an overarching plan that that Leif and Bertola and I are putting together, called our societal innovation. And we're in the formative phases of a group called Scandinasia Research Group, combining Scandinavian democratic forms and also innovation with Asian wealth and productive capacity here. That's peer-to-peer production. So it's not the big ones like Hyundai and Samsung, but small projects which are starting to grow, actually, like the new Fab Lab in Seoul that's run by a former astronaut. So I'll stop there, but that's pretty much what I'm doing these days.